If you have created a number of drawn objects, then worked on one to get your styling correct, then you can copy the formatting from one and apply it to another. Let's try it. We'll start by adding a few shapes to our slide. Put a rectangle in there, a couple of circles perhaps, different shapes and sizes, perhaps an arrow. Okay, now we will focus on one of these shapes. I'll choose a rectangle and we'll make some standard changes to its appearance. For example, we can add a fill colour. Let's try a fill effect. I'm going to make it that green marble. I'm going to add a nice red border to it. I'm going to make it quite thick so it stands out, and perhaps make it dashed. Okay, so there's our formatting applied to our object. Now the tool we're going to use for this is called Format Painter. And I like to think of this little sort of rhyme as I'm using the tool. It's choose the paint, dip the brush in the paint, apply the paint. Sort of thinking about perhaps painting a room in your house. Let's try it. So the first step is to choose the paint, which means click on the object. Choose the paint. Now we're going to dip the brush into the paint, and we use the Format Painter icon on the toolbar. Clicking that button once, dip the brush in the paint. Notice now my mouse cursor has got a little paintbrush attached to it. I now apply the paint to the object that I want to apply for you to simply by clicking the new object with the mouse button. And you can see the formatting has immediately been applied to that object, and also notice my mouse cursor has now lost its little paintbrush. So if you've got a number of objects to do, we can make this a little bit easier by double clicking the paintbrush icon. So let's try that again. Select the paint, dip the paintbrush in the paint, that was a double click, and apply the paint. Notice how this time when I've applied it, my paintbrush is still stuck to my arrow, to my mouse cursor. Let's try it on the arrow. And yes, those features have also been applied to the arrow. Obviously the features that can be applied. A background fill wouldn't be appropriate, but we've got the nice red dashed line. I've still got my paintbrush attached to my mouse, so all I need to do is click on the paintbrush icon and that's gone. So let's have a quick look at that again. We'll change the formatting this time. Let's make that a solid line instead of a dashed line, and perhaps change the colour. Select the paint, dip the brush in the paint, double click, apply the paint. So there we are, using the Format Painter tool to pick up and apply formatting from one object to another. By the way, it also works with your shadow styles and your 3D styles as well, and also the font colour.